This is not.
Daddy, hurry! I saw something scurry.
Son, what's all this reading?
Not scary at all.
The following video is about Nate, who works at a cemetery, and for weeks now, he's believed something followed him home. Strange sounds in his house at night, footsteps on the basement stairs, objects being thrown in the dark. His working theory is that whatever attached itself to him did so on the grounds of this cemetery, and so on his second day back, he arrived hoping, genuinely hoping, that it had finally stayed. The following video is about Nate, who works at a cemetery, and for weeks now, he's believed something followed him home. Strange sounds in his house at night, footsteps on the basement stairs, objects being thrown in the dark. His working theory is that whatever attached itself to him did so on the grounds of this cemetery, and so on his second day back, he arrived hoping, genuinely hoping, that it had finally stayed behind. He walks through the maintenance garage, a cluttered space filled with zero-turn mowers, brooms, and landscaping equipment, narrating quietly to himself, saying he hadn't heard any walking around his house the night before, no knives or scissors being thrown, and that maybe, just maybe, it had finally let go of him. Watch.
Alright, so this is my second day up here at the cemetery. Now it is still early on, but I will say, after opening up the cemetery yesterday, when I got home last night, I did not notice any activity. I know it's only been a night, but I didn't hear any walking around my house last night. I didn't hear any walking on the basement stairs. Most importantly, no knives or scissors being thrown, so I am hoping and staying hopeful that whatever was attached when I closed the cemetery last year would have... Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Hoping that whatever attached itself to me follow me back here and found peace and stay here. I'm told it has no permission to follow me home ever again. Oh shit. This This was over here. This was up here.
Scary. It's not scary, but it's right outside.
A bow saw crashes off its rack and lands in the middle of the concrete floor, loud enough to make him swear out loud, loud enough to stop him mid-sentence. He picks it up and hangs it back on the wooden rack where it had been stored, pointing to the exact spot it came from. His breathing throughout is audibly shaky. For those familiar with poltergeist cases, displaced objects are one of the most commonly documented forms of activity. Not subtle enough to explain away, but not violent enough to be immediately threatening. More like a signal. Something acknowledging it's still there. What's harder to dismiss is the timing. He had just finished saying he hoped it had found peace and stayed behind. Then the saw hit the floor. The following day, he returns to the same garage at dusk. This time because something caught his eye on the way in. Watch.
Alright, so I'm just getting here.
Wow. Wih, nawala.
Smooth.
It's the month of Halloween, and some of you may be dressing up, knocking on doors for treats and apple bobbing. But some of you don't think the Hallmark version is quite enough, and something a little darker is needed to really feel the holiday spirit, quite literally. In bathrooms across the world, many dare to lock the doors, turn down the lights, and look into a mirror, repeating the infamous name, Bloody Mary. But where did this legend come from? Who was Bloody Mary? And why do scientists believe they've discovered the reason behind the legend? Welcome to the mysteries of mythology. Bloody Mary. Welcome back, mystics. Here's the thing about Bloody Mary and any other urban legend. They never have a clear beginning. The tale of Bloody Mary is a puzzle with pieces scattered across centuries and continents. In this video, we're going to explore the various versions of who Bloody Mary might have been. Was she a cruel queen, a murderous countess, a vengeful witch, or perhaps just a tragic young girl? By the end, you'll have all the pieces to decide for yourself which version feels most convincing. But maybe you're one of those brave souls who just wants to know how to summon her without caring about the backstory. Just be warned, once you know how to call her name, there's no guarantee she won't answer. The ritual of summoning Bloody Mary is like a recipe that's been passed down through generations, except everyone seems to have their own version of the ingredients. What makes this legend so fascinating is how it changes from person to person, school to school, and country to country. But despite all these variations, there are some key elements that almost always stay the same. First, you need the perfect stage for this supernatural encounter. Almost every version requires a dark room with a mirror, and 9 times out of 10, that room is a bathroom. Why a bathroom? Well, it's usually the darkest, most private space in a house, and bathrooms have that perfect combination of being both familiar and somehow unsettling when the lights go out. The darkness isn't just for atmosphere either. It's actually crucial to making the whole experience work, as we'll discover when we look at the science behind it later. Next comes the most important part, saying her name. The most common version is simply repeating Bloody Mary over and over. Some people say you need to chant it 3 times, others insist on 5. And some brave souls claim you need to say it as many as 100 times, or keep going until she actually appears. And it's not just Bloody Mary either. Depending on where you grew up, you might have heard different variations like Bloody Mary, I believe in you, or Hail Mary, or Mary Jane. There's even the truly chilling version, I killed your baby, Bloody Mary, which connects to one of the origin stories we'll explore about later. Now, just standing there and chanting apparently isn't enough for some people. Different versions of the ritual include extra actions to amp up the fear factor. You might need to spin around between each chant, hold a lit candle because everything's scarier by candlelight, prick your finger to draw a drop of blood, or, randomly, some versions say you need to flush the toilet to make her disappear after she shows up. So you've done the ritual, you've said her name, and suddenly, what exactly are you supposed to see? Well, that depends on which story you believe. Bloody Mary might appear as a bloodied ghost with a terrifying disfigured face. She could be an old witch, a young girl, or sometimes she's holding a dead baby. As for what she'll do to you, the stories range from mildly unsettling to absolutely terrifying. Most stories say she just appears behind you in the mirror, but she might scratch your face or try to claw out your eyes. She could let out an ear-piercing scream. Some say she'll curse you or steal your soul. Others claim she'll haunt you forever after that first encounter. But not all versions of Bloody Mary are evil. In some older stories, she might actually show you glimpses of your future spouse. The beauty of the Bloody Mary legend is that it's constantly evolving. Every time someone tells the story or performs the ritual, they might add their own twist, creating new versions that spread to their friends and beyond. But here's something that might surprise you. The most popular identity that people give to Bloody Mary is probably completely wrong. So who was she really? Let's start by looking at the most famous candidate. If you've ever looked up Bloody Mary online or watched a terrible one-click AI video about the legend, chances are Queen Mary I of England is the first name that pops up. Most sources commonly point to her as the source of the legend, but apart from sharing the same name, it's a common misconception that the English Queen was linked to the urban legend of the entity in the mirror. The story of Queen Mary I is absolutely fascinating and genuinely terrifying in its own right, but it's probably not the origin of our bathroom mirror ghost. Still, let's explore why she earned that bloody nickname, and why some people still believe she might be the spirit haunting our reflections. Mary Tudor became Queen Mary I when she took the throne in 1553, and she wasted no time in earning her terrifying reputation. She signed an act that launched what historians call the Marian Persecutions, a brutal campaign where an estimated 240 men and 60 women were sentenced as Protestant heretics and burned alive at the stake. The sight and smell of burning flesh became tragically common during her 5-year reign. But Mary's connection to blood goes beyond just the executions.
Let me respawn in Rome, please. Yes!
Our city currently has a population of 9. A farmer? I definitely need you. Aha! We have 21 now. Next, I gotta build houses. Too many things I need to spend.
She was also known for having extremely heavy menstrual cycles, which scholars today believe was likely the result of endometriosis, or possibly uterine cancer. In an age when people didn't really understand women's health, this would have seemed both mysterious and disturbing to those around her. Mary's life reads like a tragic drama. She started out as her father, Henry VIII's beloved daughter, the apple of his eye. But everything changed when Henry decided he wanted to divorce Mary's mother, Catherine of Aragon, to marry Anne Boleyn. The Catholic Church wouldn't allow the divorce, so Henry did something unthinkable. He changed the entire country's religion from Catholic to Protestant just so he could get his way. Suddenly, Mary went from princess to servant. She was stripped of her right to the throne and forced to work as a babysitter to her new half-sister, Elizabeth. Later, when Mary did become queen, she was married off to Philip of Spain, a man who didn't love her and spent most of their marriage in other countries. Mary desperately wanted children, partly to secure her legacy, and partly, perhaps, to finally experience the love she'd been denied for so much of her life. One of the most heartbreaking parts of her story was that Mary experienced what doctors now call a phantom pregnancy. For months, her body showed all the signs of pregnancy. Her belly swelled, she felt movement, she prepared for motherhood. She was convinced she was finally going to have the child she so desperately wanted. But as the months passed, it became clear that there was no baby. Mary died at the young age of 42, childless, largely unloved, and remembered primarily for the blood she spilled in the name of her faith. It's only in recent decades that people have started connecting Queen.
Wait, let's find some.
Mary the
The parents of the bride and heads and ruin the performance.
If you're looking for a creature that's the stuff of nightmares,
Philippine
the
stuff.
Manananggal would come pretty high up that list. Imagine a creature that tears itself in half. This sprouts wings and it takes flight, leaving its legs standing alone in the darkness. It hunts through the night with its internal organs hanging beneath it, searching for sleeping victims. So what is the Manananggal? How do you survive its attack? And what's a baby chick got to do with this myth? Welcome to the mysteries of mythology, the Manananggal. The Manananggal originates from the Visayan Islands in the Philippines and comes from the Aswang group of creatures, which is just an umbrella name for shape-shifting entities like demons, witches, ghouls and vampires. What's interesting about this creature is how she shifts her shape. When the sun sets, she sprouts a pair of bat-like wings, her fingers becoming claws, her teeth grow into fangs, and most importantly, her torso splits in half from her lower body, intestines hanging out all over the place. These three victims, and her favorite, are pregnant women. When she finds a house with a sleeping victim inside, she lands on the roof. Then she extends her tongue, long, thin and tubular like a trunk. It's razor sharp and hollow, designed for one purpose. She slides it through cracks in the roof or a window, down to the sleeping woman below. The tongue punches the victim's womb and begins to feed, sucking out the unborn fetus. This is truly a gross and disturbing creature. During the day, she's usually a beautiful woman, living a normal life in a community, sometimes even married. She uses her beauty to seduce men, luring them to isolated places. Then she reveals her true form and devours them alive, preferring their hearts, livers and stomachs. When she hunts, you'll hear a distinct ticking sound. And to confuse her victims, she adopts a trick. The quieter the sound, the closer she actually is, confusing her victims and making them feel safe when they're in the most danger. Some say you will get a warning before she even arrives. Folklore tells of black cats or crows appearing near the house, a sign that the Manananggal is close. Some say that one of the most powerful ways to protect yourself is to leave a like or a comment below. It's probably worth a try. Unlike Western vampires, who are born as vampires or infected by a bite, the creation of a Manananggal is very unique. The Manananggal's origin is as strange as the creature itself. Inside every Manananggal lives a small black chick. When a Manananggal is dying, it coughs up this chick and passes it to another person, usually a relative. In some stories, it isn't passed so willingly. A woman who eats a baby black chick coughed up by another Manananggal is cursed to transform into one herself. The victim swallows the bird, often without knowing. The chick then lives inside them, feeding on their internal organs while keeping them alive. It creates an endless hunger that can only be satisfied by hunting. This parasite chick is what drives the transformation, but if you catch it early enough, before it matures, there's hope for the victim. The curse can be broken by hanging the infected person upside down and beating them like a piñata, or swinging them violently until they vomit up the bird. Some other versions say that surviving a Manananggal bite turns you into one like a werewolf's bite. So what would you do if you needed to fight one? If you haven't found its lower half, then a bamboo spear through its back or a stingray tail on the end of a whip can kill them. I was sitting in bed on a Sunday morning writing down some ideas for future videos. The ghoul belonged to a completely different... went wrong out there. That was it. I was sitting in bed on a Sunday morning writing down stuff until you reached the net.
On March 4th of 2026, at around 11 p.m., Destiny K is fast asleep when suddenly something unexpected wakes her up out of bed. Destiny didn't know it at the moment, but her house was struck by lightning. However, this wouldn't be the only thing she wasn't aware of, because on the same night of this incident, something rather creepy was recorded on camera. During the time that lightning struck her house, something happens inside her room.
Guys, sabihin nyo sa akin kung mayroon din makita mga identified.
So that's me in bed. There's a TV. Look in this general area. Okay, this corner of the room, and tell me if you see what I see. The lightning strikes. Look in this bottom right corner.
Tuloy-tuloy lang ating
There.
Mag-live na ako sa wala.
Turn the brightness.
Now I'll play the video in slow-mo so you can see it better, but keep in mind that the sound you hear in this video isn't scary music that was added to the footage. The sound is naturally what you hear when you play it at 10% speed. The following is what was caught.
Sumasangkap ka na!
New Vicks Vapor Drops Extra Strong.
Do you see that? Tell me that doesn't look like a person sitting on the floor in my bedroom. And then they're gone. And then it's just gone. With this thing, keep in mind.
Although Destiny can't figure out what exactly was caught here, she can definitely see an outline of a body. The image isn't exactly the clearest, but there's no doubting that something which wasn't there initially suddenly appears before disappearing in a flash.
So over here is where I capture the footage. I do not know how to go over there, so I'm kind of staying over here. I haven't really sort of crossed this way. I sort of exit out the other door. Basically I saw the flash.
Now little did she know that this wouldn't be the only thing she recorded on camera, because something else was captured inside her home on the same night of this incident.
Literally half the power in this house is out. Half of the house is out.
Over at her living room, her security camera recorded the fire department arriving to her house. They were there to check for any fire hazards caused by the lightning strike, but during their inspection, something very strange happens.
This is all captured on like a security camera that's battery operated, and thank God we had that. Pay attention to this firefighter right here. He keeps looking over at the couch again and again, like as if someone's sitting there and there's not. And this is when it really gets weird.
According to the firemen, they'd sworn they'd seen someone sitting down on this couch. Watch closely.
Really? Yeah. Well, we invited it right now. Invited the strong word. I had to it's great. Part of my thing.
the same sofa where they thought they saw someone sitting, this happens. An imprint on the back cushion begins to rise, almost as though someone had gotten off the couch. Now, of course, it's quite likely that the firefighter was merely leaning on the sofa, causing the cushion to pop back into place after getting off. But here's where things start to get truly creepy. If it's likely the case that the fireman was responsible for the rising cushion, then how does one explain this? On the same recording, just a few minutes before checking this panel, a fireman shines his light on the couch and shows this.
There you go. Oh, sorry. Alright, all I need is
No one was leaning on the couch this time, let alone being close to the sofa, yet somehow, an imprint begins to clear up, as though someone had stood up from sitting down. Like someone disturbed by the light, they move away. Now, none of the firemen had noticed the shifting imprint, and neither had Destiny, until she went through all the recordings to see if anything else happened on this night. But while scrubbing through all the videos, she found something else that she didn't even notice at first, and it's something that you might have missed too while watching these clips. Early on, when the fireman kept looking at this couch as if seeing someone sitting there, this happens.
In the chaos that followed, the hunter dropped his camera as the animal retaliated. The footage captures only frantic movement and the sounds of the attack as the situation spirals out of control. Against all odds, the hunter managed to escape with only an injured hand. In this video from Limitless Outdoors, Justin and Colton were out hunting in the Alaskan Rockies when they found themselves confronted by an even bigger predator.
What a wild day.
After we got done skinning the wolf.
Nicholas Paparo runs a small YouTube channel from Wisconsin where he posts fishing vlogs and reviews fishing equipment. His videos are typically relaxed and cheerful, as you'd expect from a fishing channel, but a video he posted in June 2025 took a much darker turn. The video begins like any other, with Nicholas fishing at a local river, while his dog Lola hangs out nearby. That's when things got weird. On the edge of the riverbank, he spotted a stranger watching him from within the bushes. Nicholas mentions in the video captions that the man had an unsettling, wild expression. The stranger kept moving closer, sneaking through the brush as if trying to stay hidden. Nicholas thinks the man has left when he looks away, but the situation becomes even more disturbing.
Lola, come here. Stop her. How's it going? No, open it.
the stranger emerges from the trees, with a second person joining him. They don't speak to Nicholas or acknowledge him, and they don't seem to have any fishing equipment with
No,
them.
look at me YouTube.
All they do is stare or act like
YouTube.
they're examining the trees, leaving Nicholas
Minluyas,
confused about what
YouTube.
they want.
Scary stuff. Listen to music. Look me up in YouTube. Nasa YouTube ako. Tagalog ako. Tagalog, Ilocano,
Come here.
Bisaya.
Come here.
Sagot ko lahat. English. I will produce entertainment for you.
After several minutes,
Mostly
Nicholas decides
YouTube,
he's had
man.
enough. He calls Lola, gathers his fishing gear, and the two of them move further up the river. As the video concludes, Nicholas shares his thoughts about the strange encounter.
They were peeping me out from down the river, and then they came closer and closer, and they were just tending to look at the trees, and then they kept staring at me. Fuck. Usually people like say something or whatever. They're just standing there staring, like, especially peeking past the trees halfway down the river, and then getting closer and closer, and then standing next to me and just staring at me. Yikes.
What were these men doing there, and why did they behave so oddly? Was it just curiosity, or did they have something more sinister in mind? Grizzly Gaz is a camping channel on YouTube featuring Gaz, the uploader, going on hiking and camping trips in the UK with his French bulldog named Fendi. In a lot of his videos, he goes camping in some pretty extreme conditions, and he often shows footage of his unexpected encounters in the woods. On May 4th, 2025, Gaz set off on another outdoor adventure with Fendi. This time, he had a specific goal in mind.
I keep reading about a druid's altar that's buried in the woods of this reservoir. Now, I don't know where it is, but we're going to find it. But this particular reservoir is very popular with dog walkers, so I'm going to have to hang fire a little bit until everybody's buggered off home before I can set up camp.
His goal was to find a mysterious druid's altar rumored to be hidden somewhere in the woods near a local reservoir. The reservoir was unusually low due to recent dry weather, exposing beaches along its edge that weren't normally visible. While waiting for the dog walkers to clear out so he could set up camp, Gaz spotted what appeared to be an abandoned campsite tucked away among the trees. He made a mental note to investigate it later. After the area quieted down, Gaz found a perfect spot and set up his tent. Then the pair took some time to explore, discovering a beautiful waterfall cascading down rocks nearby. Back at camp as evening approached, Gaz brewed coffee on his portable stove, trying out a new set of magnetic gas canister legs that kept his setup stable on the uneven ground. As Fendi relaxed nearby, Gaz enjoyed the peaceful woodland atmosphere. Then suddenly, the silence shattered.
Bit of extra protein for you. Mate, go get your tent. Go on. Go get your tent.
I'm fixing this.
Go chill out for a bit. I'll have this and then we'll go for a walk. So impatient, isn't she? What was that? Did you hear that? Definitely sounded like a tree falling down from over there somewhere.
I'm on YouTube. Look me out on YouTube.
Kept hearing stuff up behind me. And then, big crash right over there, but I can't see up through trees.
A tremendous crash is heard from deep within the forest. Gaz initially thought it was a falling tree, but something about the noise felt deliberate, too purposeful. Despite the unsettling sound, his curiosity about both the abandoned camp and the rumored druid's altar drove him to investigate. Venturing deeper into the woods with Fendi at his side, Gaz began to feel uneasy.
Just realised that that tree that collapsed earlier, or that branch that snapped. Yep. Mr. Owl's out. That's up near where I saw that camp. So this might be a wrong move. Pigeons. don't know if this is a good idea now. Come on, we need to go have a look, don't we? I can hear rustling over here, but don't know if it's
Piece of
just
Wi-Fi, guys.
my imagination playing tricks on me. Oh, this is a bit dodgy, isn't it?
Nasa YouTube ko, guys.
The forest seemed too quiet, with only the occasional hoot of owls breaking the stillness. He started hearing rustling noises that might have been his imagination, but his instincts warned him something wasn't right.
Naririnig mo ba ako? Search mo ako sa YouTube. Wait lang ah. Nag-live ako sa YouTube eh. Wait lang. Wait. You know. Ito yung pangalan ko. Tingnan mo ako sa YouTube. I-subscribe mo naman ako. Konti lang yung aking subscriber. You know. Yun! Search mo na. Kasi mayroon pa akong ini-edit eh. Meron din akong ini-edit. Sige, okay. Salamat. Nanood ako ng scary movies. Naghanap ako ng
This isn't what I saw, but
mas nakakalula na scary.
looks like someone's been making a fort here.
Parang
Fende, come here.
May susunod ako.
Fucking bitches.
Ito. Meron ba kang meron ba? Ano bang kanyan? Ano bang brand? Anong graphics card yan? Intel? Okay. Wala pa akong GPU eh. PC stock sa akin pero integrated graphics lang ang gamit ko. Pero may space ulit dito. Bibili ako ng graphics card pag may budget na, yun o. Dito. Bibili ako ng ganito o. Ito yung gusto ko. Parang ganito. Mahal to eh. Gusto kong utangin sa Shopee. Ang Shopee ko, pwede ako mag-utang hanggang 40,000 pataas. Ang limit tumaas na kasi lagi na kami nag-uutang dun eh. Hanap tayo ng GPU guys. Recommend. Look me out on YouTube, chat.
Today,
Sa YouTube ako, nakita mo na ba? Okay, salamat.
we've got a huge list of scary videos full of all sorts of creepy content. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more scary videos, just like this.
Alright, so I'm officially freaking out a little bit.
TikTok user Sean Does Talks has uploaded a series of scary videos that have left viewers seriously unsettled.
80s CRT monitor, which I turned into a cam link and like basically a live camera feed.
It all begins, innocently enough. Sean explains that his wife recently gave him a vintage 1980s CRT monitor. Curious, he sets it up in his living room and points a camera toward the space so viewers can see both the modern camera feed and the CRT's display at the same time.
So what do? I turn into a live camera feed via cam link.
That's when things take a strange turn.
Where's my furniture? Oh wait, just watch this. This is crazy.
On the modern camera, Sean's living room looks completely normal, furniture, couch, decorations, everything in place. But on the CRT screen, the room appears empty.
But there's my things. Where's my furniture? Oh wait, just watch this. This is crazy.
Let me respawn in Rome, please.
What? Besieged at the start? Fight head on? That's suicide. Run. Chasing me? Take this explosive. Get a ship and evacuate everyone. We live to fight another day. Caught up already?
Sean then walks in front of both screens. You can clearly see him moving through the living room in real time. But on the CRT, he's walking through a bare, unfurnished version of the same space.
How is that possible? There's my furniture. What the actual...
Almost immediately, theories begin pouring in. Some viewers suggest the CRT is somehow displaying an alternate reality or parallel version of the room. Others point out something even stranger. In the CRT view, Sean appears to be wearing different clothes. To skeptics, that's proof of a hoax. But believers argue, if this is another reality, then why wouldn't things be different? The clip goes viral and viewers demand more, so Sean delivers.
And like basically a live camera feed. But where are all my things? Like, none of that stuff is there. So you guys wanted me to go sit on the couch, so let's give you that.
In a follow-up video, responding to a comment, he sets the experiment up again, this time sitting down on his couch.
And here we go.
As he takes a seat, something unsettling happens. His image on the CRT begins to flicker. Then, for a brief moment, he turns completely black, like a shadow figure. In later uploads, Sean appears genuinely shaken. He points the CRT toward a wall, and written across the CRT screen are the words, "You found me."
Like, you found me? Are you kidding me?
The words are not visible anywhere in the room itself, only on the monitor.
I mean, I am literally starting to freak out, dude. I am starting to freak out.
Sean walks back in front of both screens, and that's when things escalate again.
What?
Some believe Sean's videos have tapped into a deep, uncomfortable question. What if sometimes we're not all seeing the same reality?
Like, you found me? Are you kidding me? I mean, I am literally...
The designs, tees, hoodies, stickers...
cuts through the frame at extreme speed, far faster than any drone, helicopter, or aircraft visible elsewhere in the shot. Drone, helicopter, the moment passed as quickly as it appeared, but viewers watching live immediately noticed something wasn't right. Some suggested it could have been debris from the fireworks or a camera artifact. Others weren't convinced, pointing out the object's straight trajectory and sudden appearance. Whatever it wasn't acknowledged on air. It simply appeared and vanished. So was this just a coincidence caught at the perfect moment, or something else slipping through the frame during one of the world's biggest live broadcasts? A touching moment was recently shared online by a user. It's Emily Fuller. While visiting her parents, Emily and her family took a walk near a small park beside a local cemetery. That's when her 2-year-old daughter Grace suddenly announced she wanted to go see someone she called Dead Grace.
Can you show me where she is?
Curious, the family followed her as she confidently led them through the cemetery. Straight to a gravestone. Engraved on the marker was the name Grace Olsen, a baby who had passed away years earlier. Emily explains that her daughter had been asking about different headstones and was excited when she saw one with her own name. At first, the family assumed it was just a coincidence, but then something strange happened. After returning home, Grace kept talking about her new friend, Dead Grace. She spoke about her throughout the rest of the day, and then again the next day, and the day after that. Emily says this fixation was completely out of character. Her daughter is usually easily distracted, but she continued to remember and talk about Grace without being prompted. The family began visiting the grave regularly, and Grace happily played nearby each time, insisting they were best friends. In a follow-up update, Emily shared that she reached out to Grace Olsen's mother. She was deeply moved by the video, and the two families are now planning to meet when Emily visits again. Whether this was a coincidence, a child's imagination, or something more difficult to explain, it's a moment that's left viewers feeling both comforted and quietly unsettled. An eerie.
Tópico Supremo, purong kape.
Man Dog Wild is a YouTube channel that takes viewers on journeys through remote wilderness areas and teaches survival skills.
A woman named Jessica says that she has recently purchased a fun playhouse for her daughter that looks very similar to their own house, complete with its own motion-sensing doorbell camera.
For a house tour, Emma's. House, and I'm gonna show them the door, okay? She really wanted it to have a doorbell camera like our front door.
But since then, things around their house have gotten a little spooky. Jessica's daughter says that she sometimes sees a quote-unquote scary guy in their house.
What guy?
The guy.
The guy is at the door.
Guy.
Baka gay.
Can we go together?
Yeah.
Do you want to open the door or you want mommy to open it?
I want mommy to open it.
Okay.
He's in there.
The guy?
Yeah. He's scary.
So scary.
I'm scared.
It's okay.
Jessica Jessica's daughter claims that the scary guy is in her room, but Jess doesn't see anyone or anything. She just dismisses the whole incident as likely being her daughter's overactive imagination. But then, a few nights later, something happens that absolutely freaks Jessica out. Jess is sitting in her living room when she suddenly receives a motion alert. Not from her own doorbell camera, but from the one on her daughter's little playroom house. When Jessica checks the notification, what she sees is like something right out of a horror movie.
What? Now a note on this clip. This is not a motion camera that pans around the room on its own motor. This camera is actually attached to the playhouse door. So this back and forth motion means that the playhouse door is actually opening and closing. But it gets even weirder, because the camera repeatedly catches a little playtime mannequin head in the corner of the playhouse, and its hair seems to be lifted up by some unseen force, and then just suddenly drops back down. After this, Jessica has had about enough. She says that she took down the little playhouse, but her daughter still sometimes says that she sees the quote-unquote scary guy back in their house. On March 6, 2015, Jennifer Grossbeck was driving home with her 18-month-old daughter Lily secured in her car seat in the back. While driving along a lonely road in Utah, Jennifer lost control of her SUV and crashed off the side of a bridge, flipping her car upside down into the freezing water of the Spanish Fork River. Most of the car was submerged in the icy water, and tragically, Jennifer Grossbeck passed away almost instantly. However, luckily the car was positioned in a way that Jennifer's 18-month-old baby Lily was not plunged into the freezing water. The baby was held in place in her car seat in the back. Many hours later, the car is spotted in the river, and emergency first responders arrive on the scene.
Where'd you go?
But as the police and firemen approached the car, they heard something that they really can't explain.
We heard something saying, help us inside. And so it was at that point that we, said we have to get in that car now. And we all, the four of us, were able to push the car on its side. And that's when I looked inside and was able to see the child infant strapped in the back seat.
There's a babe. Run. Pass her up. She's definitely hypothermic. She's screaming. Here, go. Let's go.
So you actually heard a voice calling out, help me. Do you know who that was?
We assumed, or I assumed, that it was someone in the car saying, help me. That's why we responded saying, we're trying, we're gonna get inside and help you, we're doing the best we can.
We're helping, we're coming.
It wasn't until after we flipped it that we saw the mother, who we know now was deceased at the time, and the child was in the back seat.
Even stranger. Although all four of the early responders said that they heard the strange, unexplained voice of a woman pleading for help, the officers' body cameras did not pick up any voice at all.
Here, get over here, Beddoes. We're helping, we're coming.
To me, it was plain as day, because I remember hearing a voice that didn't sound like a child. Just saying, help me.
Jennifer Grossbeck's family believes that it was the voice of Jennifer's spirit, calling out from the great beyond to try to urge the emergency workers to hurry to save her baby daughter, Lily.
She was just a very compassionate and caring person. She always wanted to bend over backwards for her loved ones. She loved Lily with all her heart. She was the love of her life.
The emergency team that was on the scene says that they simply can't explain what they heard.
We're helping, we're coming.
The Lambton House Seance. Paranormal enthusiast James White has a very spooky business. He professionally arranges and hosts seances in allegedly haunted and abandoned buildings in Toronto, Canada. James is hosting a seance at the historic Lambton House with a group of curious participants. The Lambton House is a former inn that was built in 1860, and it is said to be extremely haunted. Now James White and his group are about to witness something absolutely terrifying.
So Norman coming into this room and trying to harm you? Is it a person? So give me a sign. Are they in this room? Is it a male? They hold it back. His chair tipped backward. Why did your chair tip back? I did not move it. Oh. So they just pulled? Yeah. Keep your hands together. Keep your hands together. We grabbed him as soon as he fell back. Do not break the case. Okay. They did break when he fell, though. He fell that far back. Okay, so did something actually pull your chair? Yeah, like he tipped backwards. Something pulled your chair? Yes.
While in the middle of a seance, one participant is forcefully yanked backwards out of his chair by an unseen force.
Is it a male?
The door behind me was open, and I had my partner sitting beside me, and we had the door, like the door was open behind us, and we thought we heard something back there, but nothing was there, so we turned, and I looked, and I saw nothing, so I turned my head back towards the group, like the circle, and we're all holding hands, and then all of a sudden, I just felt like this force just come and pull me back, and it was like aggressive.
Hello?
Like aggressive.
Ito. Nagla-live ako sa YouTube. Mag-live ako sa YouTube. Yung pangalan ko sa TikTok, yun yung pangalan ko sa YouTube. Yung Min Luyas na nakita mo, yan yung pangalan ko din sa YouTube. I-search mo nga. I-search mo. Meron ako sa YouTube eh. Konti lang subscriber ko. Oo. Search mo lang. Subscribe din naman. Kahit isang pindot. Isang pindot lang naman yun. Nag-live ako. Yan yan. Sige, subscribe ka nga. Magiging 29 na yan. 29? Marami pa akong kuhan, iba-iba, random ako ng aking mga content, random pa. Hindi kasi ako makapag-focus eh. Ayan, yan. Ito. Salamat po. Marami akong views pero konti lang subscriber. Marami din eh pero you know, 6,000. Okay po, salamat. 29 na to, 29.
It wasn't like calm, it was aggressive, like it was trying to kill me or something. I don't even know. My feet were like flat on the ground and wasn't moving. I was holding hands with the people beside me and it just pulled me. And it like felt like someone was coming up behind me, like standing up behind me as I'm sitting in the chair and like taking my shoulders and like pulling me towards the mirror. It was crazy.
Fellow participants and eyewitnesses from the seance took to Instagram to share their stories about the incident. One seance witness had this to say about the strange event. I sat across from him when this happened, and it was fantastic to see. Another witness says, I was there. Another epic seance with James White seance. So did James White capture evidence of an unknown entity aggressively grabbing an innocent visitor at the Lambton house? I leave it up to you to decide.
Is it a male?
A woman named Ray says that her family has experienced many strange things since they moved into their new home. Ray says that the house's basement is especially creepy. She says that even on warm days, the temperature down there is always freezing, and she says that she feels like something is watching her when she's down there. Even weirder, the family often hears strange, unexplained sounds coming from the basement. But things in their house get even weirder after Ray buys her son Andrew a creepy large Elmo balloon. You see, the balloon seems to move around the house with a mind of its own.
Come here.
It's the balloon. It just keeps going into the basement.
Inexplicably, the balloon often just seems to head directly toward their basement door.
Literally stopped at the basement door. Okay.
Weirdly, Ray says that the balloon will only enter the basement door if her son follows after it. So the obvious thought here is, well, it's just a balloon caught in a draft and doing balloon stuff. But things get even weirder. because it seems the creepy Elmo balloon isn't content to only roam the downstairs. One night, the family dogs start going nuts, and Ray goes to investigate. What she finds chills her to her core.
Quiet! Quiet!
Ayun, parang may kumitin dun na.
Come on, Nina, help me with this.
Maglalaro din ako.
So,
Maglalaro ko ngayon. OBS. Gumagamit ako ng OBS. May hanahanap ako dito. Maglalaro ako ganito sa gilid. Tignan mo. Tignan ay kung ikaw lang ang may karapatan na mag ano sa sarili mo. Kung gusto mo hindi. Ay, huli yan. Dahan-dahan lang dapat, no? Bilis naman na. Bilis na, no? Yun, no? Dito sa baba. May Bluetooth speaker ka ba? Wala kang kahit isang speaker dyan na pag magpapasounds ka? Or earphone lang sa'yo, no? Ano earphone yan? Anong klaseng speaker yan? I-share ko sa akin, no? I-share ko sa akin, maganda yung aking speaker eh. Ang brand ay Anker. Anker ang aking brand sa Bluetooth speaker. Maganda ng sounds kahit waterproof din. Kaso, kinalawang na eh. Pero maganda pa rin ang sounds. Oo. Mahal yun, 5,000 yun. Taga saan ka ba? Luzon ka, no? Panalo ka na. Talo na ako. Lah, tabla. Tabla nga. Ito ang aking Bluetooth speaker. Speaker ko to. Kinalawag na oh. Ano yan? May nag-order ka ba sa Lazada? Or Shopee? Ako kasi nag-order ko kay Temu, Shopee, Lazada. Soundcore. Mahal to, 5,000. Ito rin, yung speaker ko, malalakas. You know? Nagpapamusic ko pag umaga o hapon, mapagabi, mapamadaling araw. Gamit ko to. In-order ko to sa Lazada. May battery, cook run out. Ay, TV. May drone din ako. Meron pang kanton dyan. Ito yung matagal na to. Matagal na tong drone na. Sira na to eh. Hindi pa naman sira pero lumang-luma na. Lumang-luma na to. 2016 ko pa to binili. 2016 pa to. Hindi masyado. Sa YouTube ako laging nagla-live. Mas nagla-live ako sa YouTube. Ito matagal na to. 2016, binilan ako ng auntie ko. Ito rin, binigay ito ang aking tito. Mas maganda to. May tumutunog na ako. May tumutunog. Ang gears niya parang may tumutunog na. Lobat ka na? Sige. Buy na? Pinalo na kita. Kanina pa. Sige, buy na po. Buy na po. Magbabay ka na? Lobat ka na? Lobat ka na ba? Kung lobat ka na, leave na. Kasi ako, magla-live pa dito. Mag-charge ka muna. Bye. Sige, bye. Tignan mo na lang yung live ko or mga videos ko sa YouTube. I-like mo naman. Kasi it's so scary. I need not to die. Just die, it's fine. Let's invent. Subway. Oi. Gold! Gold! How do you get the gold? Gold! Gold! I quit.
Oh, now the obvious question is, why doesn't she just pop the balloon, throw it in the trash, and be done? But Ray says that her son is very attached to the balloon and refuses to let them take it away. So the creepy Elmo balloon stays. But Ray will soon seriously regret this decision. Did you see it? A strangely shaped forehead seems to be peeking around the top edge of the basement door. When slowed down, we can even see what looks like a bizarre set of dark eyes and the bridge of a nose. So is Ray's house haunted by an entity that is manipulating this Elmo balloon? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. If you see something that you think would be perfect for the top 5, email me at nukestopelmo. Did you see it? A strangely shaped forehead seems to be peeking around the top edge of the basement door. When slowed down, we can even see what looks like a bizarre set of dark eyes and the bridge of a nose. So is Ray's house haunted by an entity that is manipulating this Elmo balloon? Or is it all just an elaborate hoax? You decide. If you see something that you think would be perfect for the top 5, email me at nukestop5@gmail.com. You can also tag me on TikTok at nukestop5official. And be sure to tag me only at nukestop5official because there are a lot of fake accounts on there. Late one night in Mexico City, a concerned woman calls the local police saying that she hears strange, unexplained noises coming from her son's apartment just above her. The problem is, her son is out of town and the apartment should be empty. The police quickly arrive on the scene, but they don't find anyone inside. No robber, no trespasser. However, the officers do hear strange noises like banging and the low murmur of voices. They are concerned that someone might be hiding inside the residence. So, the officers radio headquarters and ask that a nearby public CCTV camera be focused on the windows of the upstairs apartment. What the camera captures.
Let me respawn in Rome, please. Yes!
Our city currently has a population of 9. A farmer? I definitely need you. Aha! We have 21 now. Next, I gotta build houses for them. Too many things I need to spend money on, so I'll just build simple houses for the time being. Build a road first, limited funds. Let's make do with this dirt road first. Agriculture is important too. Grow rice here, here, and here. What? It costs money to hire a farmer? Choose the cheaper one. Turn this area into...
Is downright chilling.
Gising. Gising lang.
The CCTV camera captures the ghostly figures of 3 children looking out the window as the police leave. The apartment building's longtime security guard claims that every 10 years this same strange phenomenon happens, and no one knows how or why. He says that no children have ever lived in that apartment, so he has no idea who or what this might be. To this day, the footage remains a mystery. Gimme Shelter. YouTuber Tyson Pierce has a channel dedicated to travel, the outdoors, and basic survival in nature. But on one fateful day, all of his training is put to the ultimate test when something happens that is absolutely terrifying. Tyson is out in the middle of nowhere in Hawkesbury, Ontario, Canada, building what he calls a Viking turf house survival hut. Tagging along with him to help are his younger brother and his friend. The guys are about halfway through building the Viking hut when suddenly an urgent weather warning comes through on Tyson's phone.
Environment Canada has issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Mobile coverage area, take cover immediately if threatening.
But he and the boys are in the middle of nowhere with no time to get out of there. Now, before I show this in accordance with YouTube rules, let me note that absolutely no one was hurt in this video. But this frightening scene is what happened as the storm rolled in.
Oh, bleep.
What the hell? Oh my god.
Holy sh**.
I'm going.
Oh, je pense qu'il y a une tornade.
Non, oui, non.
On peut pas sauver ici d'être là. Check.
Non, ici, sauvé.
Check.
Ici, ton frère.
Elle s'en vient, reste en dedans.
Non, non, non.
En dedans, en dedans. Non, on peut pas, il est trop tard. En dedans. Reste en dessous. Tornado. Tornado. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Stay. Stay.
Stay! Stay! It needs to slow ball! Stay low! No, we're good.
No, we're dying.
No, stay. Bro.
Oh my god. Tice. Stay, Miguel.
Stay.
Get wait.
Holy
Please, no, baby.
You're good, only good.
But sir, ça pour ça, sir.
Please, God, please.
God, s'il vous plaît. Oh my God, no.
Stay. Holy Stay. Please, God, please.
God, please. God, sorry. I'm like, so please.
Stay good, on it good.
On est good.
On est carré, guys, on est good. S'il vous plaît.
Now again, let me repeat that in accordance with YouTube rules, none of these guys were hurt. Because of the amazing stability of Tyson's shelter, everyone survived and made it out without a scrape. Tyson returns a few days after the storm to check out his shelter and the surrounding woods.
That's my cabin. 2 trees. 2. That's my cabin right there. That is insane. Oh, that's snap though. Snap. I need to clear the trees. That's snap there as well.
The trees around the shelter have been uprooted and blown to the ground, but the shelter is still there. The guys are even able to find their bikes buried under one of the downed trees.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, no way.
Bro.
Our bikes are good. Wow.
Good spot. My bike.
Our bikes are good.
So Tyson's amazing nature
Our bikes are good.
So Tyson's amazing nature shelter actually saved their lives. He considers it a blessing that they were all able to escape without injury.
Thank you.
It's cold outside, but you can keep warm in some all-new Nuke Stop 5 merch. Now, of course, we have t-shirts, hoodies, and coffee mugs. But we also have blankets, pillows, and long sleeves. We even get stockings and wrapping paper. Anyway, shipping is free and be sure to order by December 10th to get delivery before Christmas. Go to nukestop5.com to shop now. Or, like whenever you feel like it. Maybe after the video.
Play free now.
Yan. Kinantok ng guwapo.
We've been driving.
A grave situation. A young woman named Britt lives on a large horse ranch in the mountains. She says that lately, things around the ranch have gotten the Midnight Messenger. Jennifer is taking care of her elderly mother who is critically ill. One night, she sees something on her mother's bedroom video monitor that gives her
guys. I need this graphics card right now. RN.
Top 10 ghosts caught on camera. Lurking in the woods. Justin Fender's TikTok account is dedicated to cars, bikes, do-it-yourself projects, and his family. Absolutely nothing paranormal or supernatural. However, 3 months ago, Justin bought himself a 2002 Nissan Xterra and filmed himself as he installed brand new reverse lights.
Today I'm putting some rear LED lights on my Nissan Xterra. These are the flush mount LEDs I bought off of eBay. They're pretty cheap. The lights are installed. I'm gonna take them back out and paint the bumper.
So one of Justin's viewers asks how well the reverse lights work at night. And Justin drives out into the dark woods near a lake in North Carolina to show just how bright the lights are. His TikTok viewers are shocked when the reverse lights illuminate something downright chilling.
The lights are definitely functional, but unfortunately I live in a city and there are street lights everywhere. But I can find a place to go test them. Okay, I found some really dark woods. I just put some tinfoil over the reverse lights. So I'm gonna show you what the stock reverse lights look like, and then I'm gonna uncover them and show you what the added reverse lights look like. Okay, these are the stock reverse lights.
Literally can't see anything.
And these are the ones I just installed. Look how friggin' bright that is. This is amazing. Yeah, so these are not just for looks.
Did you see it? As Justin turns on the lights, an arm wrapped around a tree can be seen sliding its way slowly out of sight. After many comments from freaked out viewers, Justin finally sees the arm and decides to go back to investigate during the day.
Okay, I'm leaving work. 2 blocks that way is where the arm was. Okay, this road goes down to the lake, which is right there, and a public boat landing. This is where my truck was backed in. Well, it's actually a path, and that is the tree with the stick leaned up against it. As you can see, people illegally dump stuff out here all the time. Mostly trash, but a lot of animal carcasses too. And this is the tree. And here we are behind the tree. It's where my Xterra was backed in. I'm about 5'10". I'm not a very superstitious person, so you're not gonna get much out of me. I just think, you know, if anything, you know, somebody back here.
Now, even after all that, Justin still believes the arm simply could have belonged to someone that happened to be out in the dark woods. But what do you think? Could it be a creature, a ghost, or perhaps even creepier, is it just someone hiding in the dark woods? Let me know down in the comments. Cries from Beyond. This next video was sent in by Nuke's Top 5 viewer Peter Canova. Peter explains in his email that his friend was remodeling a house in Des Moines, Iowa that had been abandoned for over 10 years. Peter's friend shared a chilling video that was recorded by a tile installer named Javier.
Verga, no, sí se escucha más. Estoy aquí en la casa de remodelación. Acabo de rellenar, hicimos ese shower y esto. Desde hace rato vengo escuchando un llanto como de niño. Pero el pedo es de que aquí en la casa esta pues, no hay, están todos los cuartos vacíos. Y me da miedo ir al basement, pero
Crash.
Verga, a ver, deja checar. Porque allá afuera no hay nada.
No crash, ¿no?
Hola. La verga. No hay nada. Güey, no mames. No mames.
The loud cries of a child can be heard coming from the basement. Javier checks every room but finds no one. Suddenly, there's an unexplained loud bang from somewhere, and Javier makes a run for it. Javier refuses to ever return to the house again.
Güey, no mames.
Before we move on to the next video, if you see anything that you think should be included in the top 5, contact us at nukestop5@gmail.com. Oh dear. Terrence Leonio from Windsor, Ontario, Canada often goes out into the woods to record himself overtone singing for TikTok and YouTube. One day he decides to stream live, and as he starts to sing, he seems to capture the attention of a passing deer.
Pretty sure he was looking for where the sound was coming from, but I stopped and started talking and now he's confused. Alright.
And there's the deer, but did you see it? Terrence seems to have caught the attention of something else lurking in the woods. Several strange, slim figures seem to be hiding in the trees behind the deer. Terrence's TikTok viewers believe the mysterious creatures could be cryptids, Sasquatch, or even skinwalkers. But what do you think Terrence's singing could have summoned from the deep Canadian woods? A doorway. This next bizarre clip comes from a small YouTube channel that is not even necessarily dedicated to ghost hunting or the supernatural. Partners Rain and Jenno post random videos to their personal channel, Sinister RP. These videos range from art and music to their own personal passion, which is exploring haunted places. Now, Rain and Jenno do not claim that they are, quote, professional ghost hunters. In fact, they are a bit skeptical themselves, and they even invite their viewers to debunk any paranormal evidence that they find.
When we go out, we don't always find the craziest stuff. I mean, let us know. Let us know what you think. You know what I mean? By all means, if we can debunk this, I would love to be able to. And if we can't, I mean, I'd love that even more.
But there is one video in particular that even the couple and their YouTube viewers cannot explain. First, the couple captures some odd sounds in this abandoned farmhouse.
This time, we ended up capturing something else. Something really weird.
Watching scary videos.
In the end, we all answer to God. If you heard a squeak, I was...
No, I heard a bang. Hello?
Not much else happens, but then, by accident, the couple captures this. Did you see it? Some dark humanoid shape seems to appear near the door, and then quickly moves away and disappears into nothing. Rain and Jenno try to debunk the figure, and even invite their audience to do the same.
Now, of course, the first thing that's running through my head is, that might be one of her shadows, but... And that's what's still been going through my head, but I don't know. You know, everybody else now is saying, I That's not your shadow. That has its own movement to it. And
if you watch, I move and it stays still, and then it moves and disappears.
But there is just no rational explanation. So, what do you think? Check out this full video over on the YouTube channel, Sinister RP. Urban exploration gone wrong. Urban explorer Andy Persons heads out to Albany, New York to see the old Tobin's First Prize Center, which is a meatpacking facility that was built in 1924 and was later left completely abandoned. Together with his two friends, he makes his way through the massive old crumbling factory, and he discovers something truly unnerving, because they might not be the only ones there.
This is the fun part. So this is where things kind of got a little weird. We were coming down these staircases, and I shined my flashlight to the left, and out of the corner of my eye, all I could see was someone in a black trench coat quickly rush over through the door and hide in the corner. I shined my flashlight down the elevator shaft that was right next to me, and all of a sudden, we all started hearing a bunch of voices and just people that were inside of the walls. We just decided to get out there pretty quickly and let them be.
A man who seems to be wearing a dark trench coat quickly disappears out of sight. Then the group hears voices coming from the walls all around them. Spooked by the creepy event, they decide to just get out of there. Now, whether what they caught is paranormal, I'm not sure. But as I've said before, sometimes real people are much more frightening.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can watch the entire exploration of this creepy abandoned factory over on the YouTube channel, Andy Persons. Through the Looking Glass. Late one night, TikTok user Apple DeCastro decides to weigh herself on a scale in her family home in the Philippines. She stands in front of a mirror, looking glass. Late one night, TikTok user Apple DeCastro decides to weigh herself on a scale in her family home in the Philippines. She stands in front of a mirror, and what happens next is truly bizarre. Apple's reflection in the mirror seems to move out of time with her body. Now, of course, this could just be a weird CCTV compression glitch, but her brother Joshua actually sees it happen with his own eyes. Another camera angle records his reaction.
Uy, lami. Siguro ko siya, uy, lami. Bigay ko na sa manok. Manok. saging. Mas masarap tong saging, matamis.
Joshua can't believe what he's seeing, and he quickly goes to warn his sister. Together, they check the footage recorded by their CCTV cameras and post their creepy experience to TikTok. So could this be a glitch in the Matrix? A haunted mirror? Or just a really, really strange camera glitch? As always, I leave it to you to decide. No entry. As with most Japanese videos, I have no idea what the source is for this next creepy clip. The clip shows two guys approaching an old school building that is under renovation and is allegedly haunted. Even though there's tape at the entrance saying no entry, the two friends step inside anyway. What happens next is absolutely terrifying. A mysterious woman wearing a white dress silently approaches the two friends from the darkness. She seems to have no visible arms. The two guys run in fear and scream for help. What happens next, we'll just never know. And whether the footage is real or not, that's up for you to decide. Either way, the clip is chilling.
Mag-Vicks Inhaler for fast relief mula sa baratong ilong. Anytime, anywhere. Vicks Inhaler.
Night Shift. This next spooky video was sent in by Nuke's Top 5 viewer Zoe from Perth, Australia. Zoe says that she's a registered nurse working the night shift at a nursing home. She says that there is one particular room in the nursing home that gives the entire staff the creeps. The staff says that they feel watched while in the room, and that the room often feels extremely cold for no reason. Some have even witnessed chairs moving around by themselves. One night, Zoe and the rest of the staff are gathered in the office when they notice something very strange on the CCTV. The lights in the room start to flicker and dim in a bizarre pattern, and then some dark shape seems to pass in front of the camera, not once, but twice. Now could this be something paranormal, or just a strange lighting malfunction? And just what are those two dark shapes? Tell me what you think. The Boy Next Door. Paranormal investigators K&L from the YouTube channel K&L Ghost Hunters spend the night at the historic Red Lion Hotel in Colchester, England. Built way back in 1465, it's no surprise that the hotel has a long history of tragic events and paranormal activity. Just to give one example, several hundred years ago, a horrible fire ravaged the hotel and took the lives of several young children. These days, it's said that the spirit of a young boy wanders the restaurant of the hotel. He is often seen and photographed by guests. Most of all, the spirit of the young boy is often seen by children. K and L leave a static camera to record in the restaurant as they investigate the basement of the hotel. Later, when they check their footage, they are shocked by what they've caught. A small head about the height of a young child can be seen peeking through the glass windows of one of the restaurant doors. Paranormal investigators K and L believe that they might have captured the spirit of the young boy that guests claim to have seen over the years. But what do you think this small figure could be? Let me know. You can watch this entire investigation and many more over on the YouTube channel K and L Ghost Hunters. Dead in the water. In another strange video shared to the internet without a source, someone can be seen taking off their shoes after having walked through a waterfall in Malaysia and discovering small clumps of leeches stuck to their feet. And if that isn't horrifying enough, there's something else in this video that's very disturbing.
Please donate to me so I can buy it and play it for you. Let's go to my library. It's my black insert.
Did you see it? Someone or something can be seen sitting on a rock inside the waterfall. Whoever or whatever it is appears to be wearing a white dress and has long dark hair and dark arms. Now, without a source, it's impossible to establish whether this footage is real, fake, or even explainable. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. My upload schedule is kind of weird these days, so please hit the subscribe button and the bell so you never miss a video. My Instagram is there, my Twitter is there, and tickety tock. Hopefully, I'll see you back here next time.
TikTok.
Bank of America is 33. Their logo is 3 11s, adding to 33. Aldi sounds like all die. 1 2 3 1 2 3 33.
There are 33 degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Water goes from a liquid to a solid at 33 degrees. The 33rd degree of Freemasonry is when one becomes illuminated.
Maybe these corporations are using hidden teachings to their advantage.
I'm not claiming anything, I'm just pointing out the symbolism.
Bank of America is 33. Their logo is 3 11s, adding to 33.
Susunod na to. Ang taas. Okay.
A little strange.
기도보다 두려움을 우리들은 먼저 배워 서로 기대던 너와 내가 갈 곳 없는 찬송만 Learn how to hate each other When I heard the sound of the silence 잠들었었던
Mangingisda siya, mangingisda. Digital. Itong babaeng to. Yung mukha niya, basang-basa. Sweat. It's wet. She's wet. Where should I go? Saan doon ka nun? Kasi talaga yan. Smooth. So smooth. Hello! Bukas na. Hindi ko na-specify ito eh. So I'm leaving shy.
A woman named Jessica says that she has recently purchased a fun playhouse for her daughter that looks very similar to their own house, complete with its own motion-sensing doorbell camera.
For a house tour, Emma's playhouse, and I'm gonna show them the door, okay?
In the following
Let me respawn in Rome, please.
What? Besieged at the start? Fight head on?
video, there's absolutely no evidence that any crime was committed in this video or that anyone was injured in any way. Alright, so, while Nick and Ted are hunting, they hear a gunshot, followed by some insane screaming. They immediately grab their camera and start recording. Now, Nick and Ted are in such a remote area of the Missouri woods that they have no cell service to call the authorities. So, all they can do is listen.
Chills all down my back. Yeah. Somebody is screaming at the
Again, Nick tries to call someone to report the incident, but they still can't find a spot in the woods with cell service.
We ain't got any service in here, so can't call the police and tell them to go over there and see what the heck's going on, but sound like something off a dang horror movie over there. I mean, we're just like a guy that's absolutely losing his mind over there.
At this point, Nick and Ted are totally freaked out. They just head back to their truck so that they can get out of there and call the police.
I've heard some stuff that I feel needs to be reported to the police department. I was hunting, me and a buddy were hunting, and at about 6:45, we heard gunshots, which is not uncommon, but then for 30 minutes straight or so, there was lots of screaming and just people, obscenities, and it sounded like something really bad was going on over there, and there was 20 or more gunshots ended up happening. I have pins dropped on a map about how far we were from where we think this was occurring. We didn't know what to do, and we had no service, so we're trying to report and see if anything had been reported about there.
Days later, Nick and Ted provide an update on what happened after their terrifying encounter in the woods.
So after that hunt, you can see we alerted proper authorities, and the days following that event, I had some contact with the state game warden, and they told me that they found nothing on this situation, and they went in there, and there was nothing to be found.
Even though Nick and Ted reported the disturbing incident and even provided GPS coordinates to local authorities, nothing was found at the site. There's absolutely no evidence that any kind of horrible event ever took place there.
You know, it freaked us out, and we really got unsettled by it, and we weren't scared that someone wasn't coming after us, but we had heard something that it could have been. Your mind goes to think about what could that be, and I immediately go to worst case scenario.
So did Nick and Ted just hear someone having a random temper tantrum or a breakdown? Was it just someone freaking out and maybe just shooting guns at a tree stump? Or was it something much more disturbing? You decide. For the full-length version of this video, be sure to check out the channel, The Hunting Public. Sensing something bad. A guy named Nick takes care of his elderly grandmother who has dementia. One night while his grandmother is having an episode, weird things start to happen around their house. Nick's grandmother's dog starts to growl toward the kitchen for no reason. Then the roaming Roomba seems to randomly start and stop, as if it's sensing something right in front of it.
Unwanted chicken skin? Try Dove with more skincare ingredients for more care.
But there's nothing there. And finally, something falls from the top of the fridge. Now, as for the randomly stopping Roomba, Nick later shows that the little Roomba is functioning normally, and usually only does this when it is about to collide with something, like a person standing in front of it.
Can you try to step in front of that? And so it just does that. Move away. So that comment says that the Roomba doesn't do that unless someone's in front of it.
And so in the video, we also see something fall. Well, Nick also explains this, and it's a little creepy.
One of my grandma's little angels fell off the fridge last night. My grandma loves to collect little figurines. You see how far back they are. Genuinely. I mean, the significance of an angel falling and not legitimately anything else she has.
Nick says that now both of his grandmother's dogs have become absolutely petrified of the kitchen. He says that both dogs sit and stare at the kitchen every night and often just refuse to enter that room.
I was watching my show and there's nothing there.
But then things get even creepier. Because one night, the Roomba at Nick's grandmother's house again just starts to act very strange.
Whoa. Whoa. Yo. Oh, that's cool. Jesus!
Now, the Roomba following Nick around and crashing down the stairs is odd enough, because, well, they're just not supposed to do that. But the Roomba flipping over on its own has absolutely no explanation. Nick says that his grandmother found the Roomba in the living room and placed it back in the kitchen. He says that since this, the Roomba has just not moved again, despite having a full charge. But he does say that his grandma's two dogs are still scared of the device and often just stare at it. Night call. Late one night in Pueblo, Colorado, an emergency call comes into the 911 dispatch center. But whoever made the call hangs up almost immediately. The 911 operators trace the call and find that it came from Imperial Memorial Gardens. Well, the weird thing is, Imperial Memorial Gardens is a funeral home, surrounded by an 80-year-old cemetery. And it's 3:30 in the morning, so no one should be there. Now, as standard procedure, the 911 emergency operators call the funeral home back to make sure everything is okay. And someone answers the phone. This is what the 911 operators hear.
New Vicks Vapor Drops Extra Strong.
Make life delicious with 30% off deals on best sellers from Domino's, Gongcha, Conti's, and more. Order now.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
There's a lot of static, and a quiet male voice seems to say something a few times, but then the call just goes silent. Again, as part of standard procedure, the emergency operators send the police to check out the old funeral home. But when the officers arrive, they find the funeral home locked up and all the lights are off. No one's there. Now, I tried to clean up the call audio as much as possible, but there's just not much there.
Hello? Hello?
So, just who made this call? And what do you think they might be saying? A short stay. A guy named Brendan has a YouTube channel where he camps in his van in some strange and sometimes very dangerous locations across the UK. In this video, Brendan decided to camp overnight in the coastal village of Jaywick in Essex, England. Now, amongst other things, Jaywick is known as one of Britain's poorest towns and has a very high crime rate. In other words, it's not really the best place to be camping overnight in a van. But that doesn't stop Brendan.
A little town in England called Jaywick, coined as one of the most deprived towns in the UK. And I thought, as soon as I'm in the area, I just had to go and see it.
Brendan searches around and eventually finds a place to set up camp that is just outside of town and kind of in the middle of nowhere.
This'll do me. I'm alone, but I mean, there's no other houses around me, so it's not as if I'm alone in a housing estate.
Brendan sets up his bed in the van and lies down for a night's sleep. But around 2:30 in the morning, things take a terrifying turn.
I think someone's outside the van. That must do.
Right, whoever the that was has now gone. I'm gonna get out of here. Oh God.
Someone with a flashlight skulks around outside Brendan's van, trying the door handles, before smashing the window to get inside. Hey! Luckily, Brendan yells and sends the intruder running. He then hops in the driver's seat and just gets out of there. Brendan makes it out safe, but obviously is very shaken up by the whole ordeal. He decides to not only leave the town of Jaywick, but to drive all night, 3.5 hours, all the way back to his home.
I just, quite frankly, just wanted to go home. I was really, yeah, I wasn't in a good mind space. After cleaning a little bit of broken glass from my driver's seat and the dashboard, you'd be surprised how far glass goes when it smashes. I've been finding little bits everywhere, but the van was in no fit state to continue camping in, and nor was my headspace, should we say. So I made the long journey back home. I think it was a good 3.5 hour drive back to my house in Shrewsbury. Got there just before sunrise. Not a pleasant drive, to say the least.
Despite this frightening encounter, Brendan still goes camping in his van and posts his adventures over on his YouTube channel, Brendan Explores. Next stop, nowhere. 3 friends are on a summer trip to Spain, staying in a large high-rise hotel. One night they hop on the elevator to head down to the lobby, but that's when things start to go very wrong.
Yo, so this elevator is acting mad weird. We started a few floors up, and
Fast forward to 45 minutes later, and the guys are still stuck in the elevator as the lights flicker and the temperature begins to rise from the summer heat.
Alright, so the power is out. The backup, yeah, there you go. The backup generator has been coming on and off. We've been having the time of our lives. And yeah, we're like cooking a life.
New Joy Swacto 3x power with easy patak cat. New Joy Swacto 3x stronger power. Isang patak, 3x stronger sa puwerteng sibo.
Super limpyo! Ang Monday, nagiging manhid day. Tuesday, tusok-tusok day. Wednesday, nerve pain day. Pabalik-balik na lang.
Try Neurobion. It's 4 times B12 versus a generic brand. Helps repair nerve damage from the source so symptoms don't bother you again. Neurobion.
Now, luckily, the hotel does have a backup generator. But unluckily, the generator seems to be malfunctioning. And here is where things start to get a bit weird. Because for some unknown reason, the elevator takes them to the hotel's 16th floor, which is currently abandoned and under construction.
Isa sa neck ko, ang sakit ng neck ko eh.
It's been doing this for a minute. And there's nothing out there. Hey, no, that did something. That did something. What is going on?
The doors shut again, trapping them inside. But a little bit later, and finally there's a silver lining, as the elevator power seems to come back on.
We're moving.
Oh, where we go? Wait. This is the stop.
No, that's the same one as before.
No.
All right. The power comes back on and the elevator starts to move. But inexplicably, it somehow just ends up back on the creepy abandoned 16th floor. At this point, the friends debate just stepping out and trying to find the stairs. But with the floor completely blacked out and under construction, they decide it's safer to just stay put. And now, over an hour has passed, and the guys are starting to get a bit stir-crazy in the hot, cramped elevator.
There you go, I got you. Oh. Oh, he's cooking something.
What are you doing?
Yep. Yep.
I gotta pee.
Oh, you gotta pee.
It's making my bladder. I gotta pee.
You gotta pee.
I feel like a rapper. Go. I gotta pee. I'm holding my bladder.
Yep.
I gotta pee. I don't know what else is going on. I gotta pee. It's making me mad. Going like so. Angry like Bowser.
Guys, this is probably the worst thing anyone.
Now, shortly after this clip, power was fully restored and the guys finally made it down to the hotel lobby. They upload videos of their harrowing adventure on the elevator, but they're...
Stop it there. Is there something else?
Some say that children have the uncanny ability to connect to the spirit world, and in some cases even see or communicate with the other side. In this next video, a father is home alone with his son when the toddler seems to spot something Truly bizarre.
Okay na yung cellphone. Okay na yun. Hindi na siya ayos. Ang dahil may ginawa ko para hindi siya matapos. Nag-delete ko o nag-save sa ako tapos delete. Asan ang dapit? Asan ang dapit? Nag-live ko. Ano ang screen? Where's the app? No. Makan mo ito. Live. Mag-live ko dito sa kong kan. Makita mo ako dito. Bisag asa ka. Basta pag naya ka internet. Makita mo ako dito. Pag nag-live ako through camera. Nakita ko. Kita ka sa camera? Nanda. Nako diya. Nako diya wala. Nako diya. Nano? Nako ulit rin ito. No. Let's go, let's go!
Mama.
Mama! Your mama isn't there. There's no one there.
Mama.
Are you seeing ghosts?
Yes.
In another creepy video posted by Kurt Harris, his family is visiting his grandmother in Chicago when his little cousin Daisy says something that is downright chilling.
That's the man come to see me now.
Who come to see you at night?
The man.
What man? What man? Up here?
Uh-huh.
I don't eat that.
Little Daisy claims that the relative in an older photo on the wall visits her at night. Now, the only problem with that is, well,
Tagal gumaling ng sipon, palakasin ang immunity para mas bilis galing. Neozer, Z+ with zinc.
I recently visited the wonderful city of Athens, Greece, and there were two things that I saw everywhere which I didn't expect to see. The first was graffiti of, well, this. And the second was a mythical creature showing up, perhaps more than the
There's something nobody really talks about when it comes to waking up. People online will tell you about manifestation, higher consciousness, the occult, secret knowledge, hidden history, all of that sort of stuff. They make it sound like once you see the truth, everything becomes magically clearer and easier and somehow lighter. Here's the problem. Nobody tells you what happens when you see too much too fast, with no one around to help you hold it. I mean, it's not exactly like there's a guide to any of this or some sort of helpline. Yeah, it's Akaro just phoning up. What's going on? Well, funny you ask. I've realized the world is fake and I'm fake because I don't have a clue who I really am underneath this mask the fake world forced me to wear. Hello? Still there? Nobody talks about the stage where awakening doesn't feel like liberation. Rather, it feels like poison. And this is far more common than people think. See, when everything is new and you're viewing the world with a new set of eyes, you can't tell what's true from what's fiction. Everything is equally profound and dangerous. I remember back then, I didn't have discernment yet. I didn't have any filters. Every idea hit me raw, the good and the bad. And honestly, I could make an entire video about just this point alone. It's a huge issue within the online spiritual space, and one that doesn't get talked about enough. Anyway, if you've ever gone too deep into esoteric knowledge, conspiracy rabbit holes, occult symbolism, secret societies, and instead of feeling free, you ended up feeling more bitter, more isolated, and more disillusioned, then you're exactly who I'm talking to. And look, I want to say this up front because recently when a clip from my Dark Night of the Soul video went viral, a lot of people misunderstood me. I'm not against esoteric knowledge. I'm certainly not against truth, and I'm definitely not telling anyone to avoid walking the path. What I am saying is that nobody warns you about the psychological cost of seeing behind the curtain before you're ready to understand what's back there. For me, awakening didn't look like, love and light pouring into my life. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows and a dose of enlightenment that I could buy for $10 a pop. It felt like something tearing open inside me. A rebirth I didn't ask for, nor was I prepared for. A poison I had no idea how to cure. Why? Because once you see behind the curtain, once the illusion collapses, once that first crack happens, you can't unsee it. You can't crawl back into the person you were. There is no pretending. I used to think ignorance is bliss was just a saying. I didn't realize it was a stage you permanently leave. And let me tell you something right now. It's a strange kind of grief. Losing a world that never really existed, but still meant something to you. So what happens? What's the cost of peeling back the curtain? Well, you pay for this new vision with the world you used to live in. And that's a scary time of your life. For me, it started harmlessly enough. I was studying natural law, alchemy, hidden history, occult symbolism, various mystery traditions which I may or may not get into during this video. Let's just say stuff you know to keep quiet about when you're around normal people. Also, if we're being honest, and there'll be a lot of that during this video, if you're new here, I don't mince my words, there is a rush to it. That feeling of discovering the real script behind the world, the truth that no one else seems to know. However, underneath that rush, something darker was forming, something I didn't recognize at the time. That's what this video is about. It isn't the romance of awakening, but the part no one prepares you for. So if you're in that stage, halfway between awakening and collapse, you're in the right place. Trust me, I've been there. You're not crazy, and you're definitely not alone. At first, to put it plainly, it began with curiosity. I was very curious about how things actually worked. I just wanted to understand, and I wanted to acquire that understanding by any means necessary. When I say I was hungry for knowledge, I was hungry for knowledge. The unknown is very seductive in that sense. Once a seed of intrigue takes hold of you, it's almost impossible to escape it. I had questions that kept me up at night and a burning desire to have them answered. Why does the world feel the way it does? What is the real truth? Why do people behave the way they do? Why does so much of life feel off? So I started reading, I started watching, I started listening. More late nights spent studying various forms of esoteric knowledge than I can recall. If it were a university degree, I'd have a doctorate. Endless rabbit holes, one idea leading to another. Seeing how a lot of this is linked, but never quite finding explicit answers, only more questions which lead to more rabbit holes and then more ideas. You get the gist. Natural law, esoteric symbolism, alchemy, hermeticism, various forms of occult knowledge, both light and dark, hidden history, even Kabbalah at one point, but that's a story for another time. At first, it felt incredible. It felt like I'd been handed a map no one else knew existed, and as I said before, there is a rush that comes with that, a real one. You feel alert, you feel awake, you feel switched on, you start connecting dots everywhere, patterns appear where there used to be randomness, synchronicities seem to keep on unfolding, and if I'm being completely honest, there's a subtle sense of being chosen that creeps in, not in an arrogant way at first, but more like, why am I seeing this and nobody else is? I guess it gave me some sort of mystical meaning or divine purpose, this feeling that I was special somehow. I'd be awake at 3 in the morning, watching lectures, piecing things together, feeling like the world is finally making sense. And then I'd step outside the next day and feel completely disconnected from everyone around me. That's when something started to shift. Gradually, insight turned into isolation, and I didn't notice the difference. I hope some of my close friends watch this video because they'll tell you firsthand in the comments, I went into hermit mode for over a year. You know, most of my friends live fairly close to me. Yeah, I'd only see them once every 6 months, maybe. Put it this way, the pursuit of knowledge took over my life. Slowly, over time, when I did venture outside my cave, I stopped seeing people. Instead, I started seeing programming. I'd listen to conversations, and instead of hearing individuals, I'd hear scripts, usually inherited, beliefs recycled from parents or culture or religion or politics or social conditioning, unintegrated wounds. And despite recognizing this, I'd mentally class the people I came across into archetypes, like they were some sort of foreign species only I could understand. It was like once I'd learned the pattern, I couldn't unsee it. And at first that felt like clarity. Looking back, it definitely was not clarity. It was distance. I wasn't relating to people anymore. I was observing them. I'd walk through London and feel like I was surrounded by NPCs, and that thought should have scared me more than it did, because instead of compassion, it started producing something else. Frustration, irritation, eventually, dare I say, resentment. I remember thinking things like, how can you not see through this? How can you still care about this meaningless stuff? How stupid are you? How can you just go on living like everything's normal? That's when I crossed the line without realizing it. On the surface, it looked like awakening. You know, I was gaining all sorts of hidden knowledge. That equates to spiritual growth, right? Back then, that's what I thought. In reality, it was the beginning of withdrawal. There's a line from Dostoevsky that really captures this state. The idea of loving humanity in the abstract, but struggling to love the human being standing right in front of you. Honestly, it's not easy for me to admit this, but I want to keep this video transparent. That was who I used to be. I cared deeply about truth, about humanity, about waking people up, but I had very little patience left for actual humans. And that's how the poison crept in. Not all at once, quietly, over time, disguised as insight. The more I learned, the more alone I felt. The more I saw, the less connected I became. And I didn't notice the danger because everything I was experiencing felt intellectually justified. I thought I was becoming clearer. I didn't realize I was becoming colder. There came a point where I had to stop and actually ask myself, what exactly is happening to me? Because the more distance I got from that period of my life, the clearer the truth became. It wasn't the knowledge itself that poisoned me. It was the state I was in when I received it. Let me explain. Knowledge is neutral. Okay, by itself it holds no power. And that's not even going into the difference between applied knowledge and knowledge that you do nothing with, but I don't want to confuse anyone watching the video at this point. However, whilst knowledge is neutral, the psyche receiving it is not. And if your inner world isn't ready, knowledge doesn't expand you, it splits you. And from everything I've lived and everything I've watched happen to others, there are 3 main ways it turns toxic. Let's start with the first one. At this point, I didn't realize it, but I wasn't becoming enlightened. I was becoming inflated. Once you start seeing programming, it's very easy to start despising the programmed. And the irony here is insane. You think you're becoming free, but your heart is shrinking. You start loving truth, the idea of truth, more than people. This is where Nietzsche's abyss begins to whisper for the first time. Not the full descent, just a whisper. Be careful. If you stare too long at the abyss starts staring back. Most people misinterpret that quote as, don't think too deeply. That's not what he meant. What he meant was when you stare at the shadows of the world without enough inner light, the shadows reshape you in their image. And this is the thing that no one tells you when you first begin walking this path. Light and shadow aren't opposites in the way people imagine. They exist inside each other. Hermeticists call it the law of polarity. Taoists express it through yin and yang. Every light carries a seed of darkness, and every darkness carries a seed of light. So when your inner light isn't strong enough, the polarity kind of reverses. Instead of you transforming the shadow transforms you. You start believing that because people are unconscious, you must rise above them, you must separate, you must be different. Before you know it, truth turns into elitism. Insight turns into irritation. Awakening turns into nothing more than emotional superiority. That's the first poison. This is where Nietzsche's abyss isn't just whispering anymore. It has its hands around your throat. Once you see through society, through institutions, through structures and ideas that hold no real meaning, once you realize how much of life is inherited, conditioned, manufactured, there's this terrifying moment where you genuinely ask, alright, well, if everything is illusion, what's the point of participating in any of it? This is the deeper meaning of Nietzsche's warning. The abyss isn't the world. The abyss is the collapse of meaning inside your own psyche. It's the moment where every structure falls apart and you're left floating in the void with no anchor. Here's the brutal truth. If your inner foundation isn't strong, you don't float, you drown. You think you've achieved some higher state of nothing matters, but really you've just lost the ability to care. This isn't awakening. It's nihilism disguised as spiritual growth. Once you learn about illusion, once you learn the world isn't what it seems, you're presented with two temptations, and both look spiritual on the surface. Temptation 1, hate the world. You see the systems, the corruption, the deception, and you harden. You take the red pill so aggressively that you sever the ability to love anything human. This is the Gnostic trap of demonizing the physical world, believing that everything material is beneath you. Temptation 2, escape the world. The opposite direction, you disappear into concepts, into symbolism, cosmology, non-duality, into mystical frameworks that pull you out of lived reality rather than into it. You convince yourself you're becoming beyond the world, but in reality, you're retreating from your own life. This is the Gnostic trap of fleeing the world. And both traps feel like awakening. They both feel justified, they both feel intelligent, they both feel like you've seen the truth, and they both feel like you've transcended the masses. But here's the deeper issue. Both traps remove you from the world you were meant to inhabit. You stop living, and you become a spectator instead. This is disassociation disguised as enlightenment. Looking back, all three poisons have the same root. Your mind wakes up faster than your soul can hold it, for lack of a better word. Your intellect expands, but your heart collapses. Your awareness rises, but your embodiment shrinks. Your insight increases, but your capacity decreases. And that's the real danger of esoteric knowledge, when knowing becomes bigger than becoming. This is how knowledge becomes poison. In other words, it evolves faster than you do. At a certain point, I realized something important. What I experienced wasn't unique, and it wasn't random. Everyone who wakes up too fast goes through some version of this. And again, I want to stress, it's not because knowledge is dangerous. It's because you encounter it before you've built the inner structure to hold it. Every mystic, every philosopher, every ancient tradition knew this. They all describe the same moment in different languages. A gap opens between what you can see and what you can live. Your awareness evolves, but your embodiment remains the same. And in that gap, things fall apart. This is the space between the two awakenings, the part where sight expands faster than strength, and you're left carrying truth your inner world hasn't grown into yet. Every spiritual tradition talks about this, but almost nobody recognizes it when they're in it. There are two awakenings. The first is the awakening of sight. This is when your perception opens. You see illusion, you see programming, corruption, unconsciousness. The veil lifts. The second is the awakening of strength. This is when your inner world finally grows strong enough to carry what you see. Every collapse, every dark night of the soul, every poison phase happens in the space between these two awakenings, when the mind is awake but the heart is not yet built, when awareness is high but capacity is low. It's the spiritual equivalent of trying to walk with legs that haven't grown yet. And I want to stress that this stage, it doesn't mean something's gone wrong. It just means something hasn't finished yet. You're mid-process. The sight has arrived before your strength has. This is why the oldest story humanity ever told wasn't about disobedience. It was about readiness. Adam and Eve didn't sin. They saw too much before they had the internal capacity to handle what they saw. The moment they ate from the tree of knowledge, two things happened. One, their awareness exploded outward, and two, their inner foundation stayed the same. That mismatch, that gap, is exile. Not exile from a specific location, exile from yourself. Exile is the psychological state where innocence collapses but wisdom hasn't formed, and meaning hasn't stabilized, yet perception is fully awake. Sound familiar? This is exactly what happens when you awaken too quickly. You see the world naked before you've built the strength to stand in that nakedness. Now, the myth isn't warning you against knowledge. It's warning you about digestive capacity, aka how much truth your psyche can metabolize at once. If you ingest truth faster than you can integrate it, it becomes poison. And again, not because the truth is harmful, but because your inner world is overwhelmed. There's something people never talk about in the spiritual world. Awakening is not just psychological, that plays a massive part, don't get me wrong, but it's also physiological. See, your mind can understand something instantly. Your body cannot. Your nervous system cannot. Your emotional maturity cannot. So when you suddenly see the illusion...
In the following video, a woman named Aria is recording herself walking down a hallway inside a hotel, but something about her video seems...
Kalaro ko sa madaling araw at sa
I have a network problem, so I might lag.
It's off.
What did you blind us?
Sabi daw,